What's up, y'all? It's your boy Niner Faithful. How's everybody doing? Hope everyone had a legendary week. Let me go ahead and fix this for y'all so y'all can see me better. So we're gonna go ahead and talk Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch's press conference today, as well as get into the proposed new collective bargaining agreement that the NFL has agreed on, but is yet to receive NFL Player Association approval. Go ahead and pull up my show notes. Hey, Jamie, what's up? How you doing? So we'll go ahead and let a couple more people get into the stream. I know that there's going to be a couple more people that are watching. I'll watch the viewership go up, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to make probably the coolest and I like my beard. The coolest and biggest news the Niner Faithful Radio had ever had in our history. Let me see. What's up, Jason? How you doing, brother? All right, we're gonna wait for one more person. And then I'm pulling up my show notes right now. All right, there we go. Now I think everybody is here. All right, so not only has Niner Faithful Radio been added to SoundCloud, which I have to actually upload the episodes. But anyway, I'll start that with season 4. But we are now official, like a referee with the whistle, on iHeartRadio. They went ahead and reached out to me to add me, and I went ahead and agreed, and we're also, well, I won't say that, but we might have some bigger news coming up in the near future on some huge news. Also, I don't know if this is bigger or not, but I feel that it's some really huge news. Niner Faithful Radio is officially ranked the 17th podcast in the whole country of the Netherlands on Apple Podcast. So, I ain't gonna lie. Think about how, it's a grind, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. I love doing the show. I love chopping up Niners ball with y'all. But man, sometimes this really is a grind, and I put in a lot of work, a lot of long hours. Like over the last 2 days, I put in 12 hours the other day and like 10 the day before, getting ready for season 4. It's definitely a grind, but it's paying off. And to think that we have the 17th ranked podcast in the sports and recreations category, an Apple Podcast. Hold on, let me see what Jamie commented. You put in so much work. I'm so excited. Thank you, love. I appreciate all your hard work that you've been doing with Niner Faithful Radio, making sure that we have awesome blogs out on the website, which I still have to add. But Jamie is, of course, one of our writers, and she'll be doing the Niner Faithful Radio recap shows with me during this season, but more on that later. I do put in a lot of work, though, but thank you for recognizing it. So, before we get started today, take off my phone off the charger for a quick sec. Okay, whatever. Don't worry about that. We'll go ahead and say you can find this podcast on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play Music, all that good stuff. Now officially on SoundCloud and Apple Podcast. Please make sure to leave a review and rate the show. It really, really helps. That's how we got to be number 17, aiming for that number one spot. If you're watching on YouTube, please make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification button to make sure you don't miss a single video. And also give the video a thumbs up and go ahead and comment and let us know what you thought about the show. You can follow the show on social media on Facebook and Instagram at Niner Faithful Radio and on Facebook at Niner Faithful R. Visit NinerFaithfulRadio.com to read all our blogs from our wonderful writers like Jamie. And listen to every episode of Niner Faithful Radio and watch every episode of This Date Niner History. And also, you can listen to our interviews that we have with Roger Craig and Ian Williams, as well as see all our advertising and sponsorship packages. Oh, man. Oh, man. I got to put my phone back on the charger. Everybody's been blowing my phone up today. So, the boy's battery's about to die. But that's the way it goes when you live a life on the go. But, okay, so enough about all that formality stuff. First of all, how y'all doing? Let me know in the comments how everybody's doing. But I'm going to go ahead and get started with this. So basically the overall highlight of the new collective bargaining agreement is the players are going to get 47% of adjusted revenue in 2003 million in new player cost above the current CBA for 2020, a 48% increase of share revenue in 2021, with the ability to increase the percentage to 48.5% share through a media kicker, which applies in any league season, which the league plays 17 games. A projected increase of $5 billion to the players during the course of the new 10-year deal. $100K in increases in 2020 for rookie minimums, another 50 increase in 21, and then 45 increases each year after, and at least 95 increases in 2020 for the other minimum salaries from 80,000 to 105,000. There is a couple other. I'm going to go ahead and put the collective bargaining agreement in the show next section of NinerFaithfulRadio.com. But that's basically the gist of it. There's some training camp stuff. They're going to be having less training camp. I believe it's something like you can only have like 7 practices or 2 consecutive days of practice in a 5-week period, something like that. I don't mind the extra extra game, but the new proposed playoffs I hate. I mean, wouldn't have affected the Niners this year, but no. You know what, Jason? To me, the way I broke down the deal is I'm never going to blame the players for wanting to get more money. I mean, they're out there risking their lives. Really, I mean, honestly, they're risking their lives every time they step on that football field. Let me adjust my chair. Okay, there we go. Got to show the branding. So, to me, it's are you serious about player safety or are you serious about money? And to this narrative of that, there's less injury likely and all that is bull. I mean, I'm sorry. At the basis of pure just facts, if there's an average of, let's just say, 3 injuries per game in the league, and you add in another game, that's obviously going to add in increased injuries. So it's I don't like the proposed 1/17th of your normal. I think it was like Article 15 of the new collective bargaining agreement. Man, I can't wait to have a co-host back. So I'm not gonna bore y'all while I go ahead and look up the actual numbers and stuff like that. But it's basically like less than they would make during their normal 16 game schedule. Now they probably will make up for that money. I don't know if it'll be all of it, but they'll make up a good chunk of that in the proposed deal of shared revenue and other things like that. Another interesting tidbit that I thought of the new collective bargaining agreement was that the players who have the bye week, which there would only be one proposed team with a bye week in the playoffs, they would essentially the number 2 seed would play the number 7 seed, and then the 3 would play the 6, and the 4 would play the 5. Is that the players who get the bye week still get their game checks? Now, I think that's a pretty cool deal. So, I don't know exactly how much that would mean for every player, but I mean, sounds like more money. Those long-term deals will only make a little extra over 250K compared to their normal game check. Okay, so I mean, the way I look at it is I don't necessarily blame the players for turning down the deal. I mean, they always say that when you're in contract negotiations, never sign the first contract. I don't necessarily, Jamie, if it's going to go through, it will be this implemented for the 17th game. Yeah. So okay. So then it's like an extra 250K. Nah, that's not worth it to me. So it's. I don't think they're going to go on a strike. I don't think that you know, there'll be a lockout or anything of. I mean, there might be a lockout, but I don't think that they're gonna. I don't think we're gonna miss any football this year. There's entirely too much money to be made. Now, does that mean that we won't have a lockout? No, I think a lockout's going to happen. I think the owners are going to hold their feet in for this 17th game of the season, and I think that they will increase the playoffs. Now, to me, I really wouldn't affect the Niners if we're the number 1 seed like we were this year. We still get the bye week, and we still have to play the same amount of playoff games. So it only affects teams that wouldn't be the number 1 overall seed. So hopefully the Niners can squeak that out. Now, I think we'll win the division next year, although I expect the Cardinals to be a sneaky good team. I think they can. I don't want to say make a jump like us because I don't think the Cardinals are going to the Super Bowl next year, but I think they could be a sneaky 7th seed of a playoff. Add a couple good free agents, hit a couple home runs in the draft, and I mean, you could see some improvement in the roster. Now, I don't think they will make the big jump like we did because, I mean, we're getting our starting quarterback. We got our starting quarterback back. So, I think that Kyler Murray will improve. And so, out of all the teams in the division, honestly, they're really the only team that scares me. I think that the Yams are overrated. and I think they're going to deteriorate from within, and they're going to start having to pay the consequences of going all in 2017 and 2018 to go to the Super Bowl. I think the Seahawks, I mean, y'all already know how I feel about them. Sure, will they compete? I'm not saying that they'll be 4-12, but I think that they're slowly starting to see the deterioration of that team, and Russell Wilson has to carry them essentially on his back. And so, Jamie, go ahead and cover it. The Cardinals are going to be NFC West is going to be tough. Honestly, Jamie, I totally agree with you. I think that the NFC West is going to be the best division in football. I think we're going to essentially beat each other up, and that's why I could see. I'll go ahead and actually say this right now, and then we're going to go ahead and switch off on topics. It's we got Vegas came out with the odds on us at 10.5 wins, and I'm saying over. I prefer it to be 9.5, but I would still take the Niners at 10.5 wins. I'm sorry, I don't see us winning 10 games. I mean, okay, I could see us winning 10 games. I don't think we'll win 9. That's why I want it at 9.5, because I think we're gonna win more than 9 games. I think we're in the range of 10 to 12 around that play. I don't think we're gonna win 13, 14, 15, or 16 in the regular season. I do believe that we'll have more wins than that at the end of the season, with playoffs and the Super Bowl record taken or games taken into effect. Wow, we're getting really a lot of comments today. Jamie, I agree with you. Well, thank you, Jamie. Thanks, love. So the point is that 10.5 wins. Let me know in the comments right now. Are you saying over or under 10.5 wins? So that basically means the Niners win 10 games, you lose the bet. They win 11, you win the bet. Let me go ahead and know in the comments what exactly is y'all's opinion on that. We also have other news to get into. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch spoke at their real quick to cover up the CBA. The NFL's executive committee and the NFL player, each team's representative will be sitting down at the Columbine, and they will be discussing the potential of the deal. And then the players' representatives will vote on it. It takes a 2/3 of the vote to pass it to get it down to the players, and then the players, it's a majority wins. Now, apparently, from what I've heard, is the players are all over the place on the CBA. They're really not in lockstep, and essentially that's why I think the NFL owners will win the negotiations. There's infighting. A house divided cannot stand. A house divided amongst itself cannot stand, and that's why essentially I think the owners will essentially get the 17th game that they want. I don't know if they'll get the 7 playoff teams in each conference, but I do believe that we're going to have a 17-game NFL season, although it is one less preseason game. So this is last point on this, and I promise we'll wrap it up. But let me know what y'all think about in the comments about this and everybody's opinion. But even though I just said, I understand the player stance and everything like that, let me be clear on this, is they're losing a preseason game. So essentially they're playing the same amount of games if you include the preseason. What is really going to be affected is let's just say they essentially lose the 4th preseason game. You think Richard Sherman's playing in the 4th preseason game? And I'm only using Richard Sherman because he's our player rep for the Players Association. You think Richard Sherman's not tripping about losing a preseason game? He's not playing in the 4th preseason game anyway. Hell, he's probably not even playing in the 1st. So Richard Sherman's only used to playing about 2 preseason games anyway. And honestly, he might not even play in the preseason this season. He's one of those players that's kind of the Niners are looking at the situation like, man, we know. Well, I shouldn't say we know what we're going to get from Richard Sherman, but Niner faithful radio isms. Father Time is undefeated, and it's clear that I'm not doing the overreaction to the Super Bowl, and one play shouldn't define Richard Sherman's season. But I think it's clear that he lost a step. Now he's not going to admit that because honestly, what athlete is going to admit that they lost a step? But it's it is what it is. But another thing I want to touch on is I'm going 11. I'm guessing 11. Okay, so we're going to put you down for 11. And Jamie, we're going to go ahead and put you down for 11. And before the season starts, I'll do the official prediction. I mean, hell, we're not even in the draft. I haven't even seen a training camp practice yet. So we'll go ahead and do it after training camp. I'm going to live in. Somebody else comment. Oh yeah, if we lose preseason game and gain a regular season game, it's the same amount. Exactly. But tell that to Richard Sherman, who's not going to play in the preseason game that they're taking away anyway. So Richard Sherman is playing an extra game. But yeah, you're right. Majority of the league, at least, majority of non-starters are going to be playing the less games actually, or the same amount of games. So real quick, a couple highlights from the Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch press conference. It looks like the Niners and Jerick McKinnon's representatives will be sitting down over the Combine to discuss a restructuring of his contract. And so I don't know exactly what that restructure will look like, but it's going to save us a ton of cap money. And without the dead money this season, that would cause some issues as far as re-signing some of our free agents. It seems to be the rumors around the Columbine. John Lynch didn't officially say this, but it looks like the 2020 season will be Joe Staley's last season in the NFL. And, that's awesome. It's not awesome that he's retiring, but it's awesome that he's officially going to end his career as a Niner. He's not getting traded this year. He's not going to get cut. So it's awesome to see that he'll at least suit it up for one more year in the red and gold. A little tidbit that Kyle Shanahan that came from his press conference was he's trying to petition Jed York to allow them to have a scrimmage or training camp practice or something in Cabo in Mexico. And so I thought that was pretty funny. There are, of course, a lot of Niner fans in Mexico. Shout out to all my faithful in Mexico. Yes, Jamie. Joe, I hope we can get a ring for him. Joe deserves a ring. Win it for Joe. I know. I'm totally gonna lose it at Joe's last game as well. Let's be. I'm gonna be completely 100% honest. Joe Staley's my favorite Niner on the team right now. He's not my all-time favorite Niner. That's Jerry, but Joe Staley is my favorite Niner on the team right now, and my heart will break because he's the definition of N4L. He's the definition of Niners for life, or Niner for life. I remember his rookie year. Him and Patrick Willis. I remember watching their. I remember reading about the press conference of their rookie year, and here we are going into his 14th season Man, time sure flies, doesn't it, y'all? Shake my head. But another little thing, a little tidbit coming out of the press conference is Shanahan saying that he really felt that we were the best team in football last season, and that it actually really hurt him to lose the Super Bowl. He said it was definitely more painful than the loss that he had in the Super Bowl with Atlanta. And he said over the course of the season, he really truly felt like we were the best team in football, and the championship was there for us to have. But that's enough about the Super Bowl. We're gonna pretend that it never happened. I'm sorry, y'all, but my heart was broken, as I'm pretty sure every one of y'all's was too. So another announcement, and then we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this episode of Niner Faithful Radio. A big shout out and congratulations to Marquise Goodwin and his wife for having their baby girl. We all know the heartache that the Goodwins had to endure. Hold on, we got one more comment. Team had better players at certain positions, but top to bottom overall, we were easily the most complete team. That's how I feel, Jason. I feel that we didn't necessarily have the best quarterback. We didn't necessarily have a best receiver. We have the best tight end in the league. I would say we had overall one of the best offensive lines in the league. There's not a position in football that I did, on the defense at least, that I didn't feel we were the best unit. We had by far the best D line. I would say we had one of the best linebacking crews in the league. I mean, if you disagree with me, then go ahead and leave your opinion on who had the best linebacking core in the league, and I'll go ahead and listen to that. But and quite honestly, let's be real, the best secondary was the Niners. I mean, legitly, I guess you could say the Patriots were higher ranked as far as yards or certain metrics, but I mean, literally, there was a point in time where we were shutting teams down. And I think if D Ford doesn't miss those chunk of games, I think that we might even have set a league record for fewest passing yards allowed in a season. Coming from Jamie, yes, I'm so happy for Marquise. Yeah, I think we all. I have been so happy for. I've never been so happy for a celebrity to have a kid. Everything he went through to hear the baby is healthy. Yes, most definitely, Jason. I totally agree. I'm not one who really thinks gets really too emotional about miscarriages and things like that. I kind of generally believe that that's God's will. But to see how much Marquise and his wife really struggled with it, and the conversations I've had with Miss Goodwin, Tamir, Mrs. Tamir, Marquise Goodwin's Facebook, and seeing how much it affected her, it's very heartbreaking. I think we all remember the Giants game with Marquise breaking down in the end zone, breaking down, crying in the end zone. And that's what really made me fall in love with Marquise Goodwin was he put it on the line for the Niners that day. His heart and head were clearly in another place, but he put it on the line and got us our first win. And honestly, I think that was God. I don't want to get all religious, and offend anybody, but I honestly think that was God blessing the Niners that day. It was quite reason why we love sports, quite honestly. And so congratulations, Marquise. Big shout out to you, brother. I wish you well with the endeavors, and may she be blessed with health and happiness. Definitely excited for the good ones. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up this week's episode, even though I still have time for the study room, because your boy has to go get prepared for my first ever driving lesson. So yeah, I'm 34 years old and going to get my license for the first time ever. So wish me luck. I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm pretty sure I'll do all right. Pray for me, y'all. But if you pray, if you don't, then I don't want to offend you. But before we get out of here, you can find this show as a podcast everywhere you find podcasts. Please rate, review, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit that notification bell and make sure you don't miss a single video. Also, give the video a thumbs up and a comment to let us know what you thought about the show. You can follow the show on Facebook and Instagram at Niner Faithful Radio and Twitter at Niner Faithful R. Go ahead and shop Niner Faithful Radio shop for officially licensed Niners apparel from shop49ers.com, NFLshop.com, Fanatics.com, Target.com, eBay, as well as all Niner Faithful Radio merch we have at the store. Go ahead and visit NinerFaithfulRadio.com/shop or like us on Facebook and Instagram at Niner Faithful Radio Shop and follow us on Twitter at Niner Faithful RS. Join our Patreon's rewards program for as little as $3 a month. You can get special perks like 10% off of Niner Faithful Radio merch and invite to join us on a segment of Niner Faithful Radio, early releases of every show, video and blog, and much, much more. Go ahead and visit patreon.com/Niner Faithful Radio. Go to SeatGiant.com, use the promo code Niner Faithful Radio, all one word, and save on all theater, sporting event, and concert ticket purchases, as well as help out the show. That website again is SeatGiant.com, promo code Niner Faithful Radio. Okay, so, Jamie says good luck. Thank you, Jamie. Really appreciate it. Beautiful. I shall see y'all. Same faithful place, same faithful time next week. Till then, faith, love, and happiness. Go Niners.